Joining me now is author and political commentator Shemeka Michelle.
When God looked at man, he said it's not good for man to be alone. He gave him a woman. He didn't give him a village. He didn't give him the community. He said, be fruitful and multiply to this man and this woman. So it's supposed to be God, husband, wife.
If you always do what you always done, you will always get what you always done.
So I remember when I was younger, I remember asking my grandmother, who at the time probably was in her 50s, I would say. But I remember asking her if she was offended by the word nigger, well, whether that's the A or the ER. And I remember her telling me no, because a nigger or nigger is an ignorant person. And she said, so anybody can be ignorant, whether you are so-called black, because we're just talking about skin color, or white, it doesn't matter. A nigger was an ignorant person. So I never grew up very offended by the word, because to me, I was not a nigger. However, fast forward, we do understand, or I think most of us would agree, that it's Black people who have taken the word and pretty much embraced it, wrapped their arms around it, because we like to embrace, as a people, as people with dark skin color, we like to embrace nigger shit, bullshit, negativity. We embrace that. That's why you heard so many people when Bill Clinton was in office saying that he was the first Black president. Why? Because he smoked weed, blew a saxophone, which there's nothing negative about, playing a saxophone, but also because he got his dick sucked in the Oval Office. That's why we felt like he was the first Black president. Not because of his, any great accomplishments, not because of how he treated his wife or raised his daughter or even made it to the highest office. It was because of his degeneracy that you had Black people running around saying, he the first Black president. Because we have made Black a behavior, and anytime someone isn't Black enough or niggerish enough, let's just be real, if they aren't niggerish enough, then we say they aren't Black. We call them coons or Uncle Toms. And when you think about it, it's always because they're not displaying enough negative behavior. When you hear someone speaking with correct English, what do we say? They trying to act white. As if someone with a dark skin tone can't speak correctly, can't use big words, as people would say, can't string a sentence together. We, as long as we are being negative, we're being niggerish, we're being real Black. And that's just the truth. That's how we have made it. I put up a tweet the other day and it said, or it read, niggas are a cancer to America. There were so many Black people that came under that tweet. It's probably some white ones too, but so many Black people that came under that tweet and said, if you forgot, you a nigga too. Remember, I said, my grandmother said a nigga was an ignorant person. Why we have adopted that as something good, I have no idea. But we have, so much so that when I said niggas are a cancer to America, Black people were mad because I didn't identify as a nigga. But anyway, let me get to why I'm here today. I am here today because influencer or commentator Nick Fuentes put out a video. Well, this video came across my timeline and I saw so many people offended. Offended because here we have this man who does not identify as Black, who I don't know what he identifies as. Honestly, he looks like a white man to me, but he may identify as something else. So they were mad at the things he was saying, although some of the things that he was saying were very accurate, right? I'm going to play the video. We're going to break it down. We're going to go through with it. And he was brutally honest because, listen, many of us just need to be brutally honest. Let's roll the video.
Growing up, I was confused as to why my stepdad would call my brothers and I African Americans when we do some dumb shit, but now that I'm older, I realize why. I'm Black, by the way. Love you, Nick.
That's funny. It must suck being one of the good Black people and like your race is synonymous with like doing something badly. Like if you're doing like a contracting job and you say like, hey, don't nigger that up. It means like to like do it really poor.
But let me stop you for a minute. It appears as if to Nick, nigga and Black is synonymous. Again, I can't get mad at Nick because for a lot of Black people or dark-skinned people, melanated people, nigga is synonymous with Black. So we're going to listen to this video just like we listen to any other thing where Black people are making Black or the color of your skin synonymous with being a nigga.
Poorly, like you didn't give a shit. It's like synonymous with like, I don't care enough to do what I'm doing the right way. Like, I don't care. I'm like so low integrity and just like low moral character that I don't even care in the slightest to do it the right way because I'm like ontologically evil. Like I'm abusing you. You're paying me to do a job and I have so little honor and integrity that I'm going to like, that I don't even care about those things. I don't even care that I'm going to do an embarrassingly bad job. It must suck to be synonymous with that. You know, not all Black people are that way. It's just they're kind of known for that. White people do that too. Hispanic people do that too.
Did we hear the man say, not all Black people are that way? White people do it too. Hispanic people do it as well. This is one of the things that I have an issue with people. We don't know how to add quantifiers, right? We don't know how to add our own quantifiers. I do. A lot of y'all ignorant niggas don't. You don't. Because I saw so many people in the comments upset with Nick by this video because they didn't know how to add their own quantifiers. And when I say quantifiers, for some of you slow motions, I mean all, many, a few, several. You need to be able to add your own quantifiers. When this video came across my timeline last week, I saw so many people that I'm familiar with commenting that I decided to watch it. Never thought anything else about it. I was never offended. Why? Because as Johnny Cochran said, if it doesn't fit, you must quit. If it doesn't apply to you, you generally move on. And some of the things that he was saying, I agreed with. And then there were things that I was like, it's not me, so I'm not mad. People need to learn how to add their own quantifiers. Nick had to do it for the slow motions when he came and said it's not all Black people, and people still didn't hear that. They still didn't hear it. But let's continue.
shame. I really do believe, look, I think black people are not irredeemable, but there just needs to be brutal honesty. It's like, look, these black people are really struggling and they're turning into these maniacs. It seems like they don't do anything right. They're obnoxious, they're rude, they're inconsiderate, aggressive, cruel. Look, nobody hates black people for being black.
Nobody hates black people for being black. True. Let's go back to what he said before then. A lot of people think, and they will sometimes wrongly judge according to skin color because of behavior that we have embraced. And we hate for people to call it out because we get offended and think when you call out bad behavior, you're putting down an entire race, when in all actuality, black is not synonymous with bad behavior. And if we spoke out about it a lot more, maybe it wouldn't be synonymous to other people. But we have to start at home. If I put out a tweet that says niggas are cancer to America and black people are mad, we have to start at home, that we have to stop making black synonymous with bad behavior. We see so many people being aggressive, rude, so much so that we've labeled young black men as YNs. What makes you a YN? Typically, your behavior, negative behavior.
If there are people like that, I think that's exceedingly rare. The reason that people have negative attitudes about black people is because most people's interactions with black people are negative. Most people's interactions with black people is when you're stuck in traffic and you see a Nissan Altima speeding down the shoulder.
Now, why he have to use a Nissan Altima, right? But I think it's very accurate. Okay? The Nissan Altima was very accurate. I don't think that most people's interactions with black people are negative. But I will say there are a lot of black people walking around embracing bad behavior. So much so that all you have to do is look online at the comments and you can see that people are really fed up. That's why you see this whole black fatigue, because people are tired. People are tired of the behavior. It's not about the skin color, but here, let's continue.
And you say, what the fuck? You're not supposed to do that. But it's like these people have no respect for decorum. They think the rules don't apply to them. They have no respect for society. Their interaction is they are a waiter and they wait on a black table and the black people don't tip and they're fucking rude. They go to the DMV and they see a black person behind the counter and they say, oh, here we go. And the person...
Listen, this is why I'm saying he's brutally honest, because so many of us feel this way. In the early 90s, before Golden Corral was like just a buffet spot, when you could still order off the menu and people would have to bring it to you, on Sundays, typically Golden Corral was full of black people. As a server, I worked there. As a server on Sundays, I would go to the host and say, don't sit black people in my section. Why? Because not all black people don't tip. You know, there are some very great tippers who happen to be dark skinned. But I was so used to them not tipping, I didn't want them in my section. This is brutal honesty. Last week, my daughter, who is a bartender at a seafood restaurant, had an issue, and every time there's an issue with people trying to fight her, belittle her, complain about the bill, it's always Black. Brutal honesty.
Person's rude. It just goes to show people are not racist. It goes to show people don't like people that are rude. People want to be treated with consideration and respect. And it is true that Black people are, in this day and age, unfortunately, seem to have very low moral character. It's not even just the violence, although the violence is pretty striking. If you live your life and you know that you're going to be mugged by Black people, it kind of colors your opinion or perception of Black people, wouldn't you say? If 99% of the carjackings and stabbings and shootings that you see in Chicago are by Black people, when you're walking down the street late at night, guess what you're looking for? Black people. And you equate that with danger. And
let's be honest. If I'm walking down the street in certain neighborhoods here in my city, first of all, I would not walk down the street in certain neighborhoods here in my city. Why? Not because I'm scared some white police officer is going to jump out like, ha, gotcha, here's my chance. And if you're honest, you know I'm right. We are not losing lives to white people at the rate we try to pretend like we are. And I'm having to use the black and white, although I want to unblack myself because how it's synonymous with negativity. But I'm using black and white so y'all can follow me. We are not losing our lives to white people the way we like to pretend. Oh, the white man is the most dangerous person in America. To us, for us, the homicide rate for men 18 to 35 is because of other black people. Let's continue.
it doesn't take a lot of them to spoil the whole bunch like that. And we just want black people to take accountability and say, look, I'm not a bad person. It just seems that every time I encounter you people, for the most part, it's negative. And sometimes extremely negative, like I could get a gun in my face. That's a problem. And people go, well, you are just loaded up with hatred and racism. It's like, I'm really not. I'm a really friendly person. But if I'm someplace and I see some black person walking in with their pants sagging and they can't articulate what their problem is or what they need, and they're rude and they're aggressive, and I'm in fear for my life, like, yeah, I have a problem with all of that. If black people were super well behaved, we would be racist in the other direction. We'd say, black people, oh yes, dude, yes. My day is about to turn around for the better. What can I help you with, sir? Please come right on in. Man, what a relief to see you here. You're a sight for sore eyes. It just bothers me in this damn ass city, because that's all it is in Chicago, is just these black people who can never take accountability. It's always somebody else's fault. Same thing with Candace. You know, when I was debating with Candace, it was.
It's not always somebody else's fault? That's why we have the whole saying that we have this victim mentality, because we don't like to take accountability. We are in 2025, still talking about slave masters. Slavery is not legal in America, but we are still, not me, I'm just saying we, but you know what I mean? Black people are still blaming slave masters for their lack of success in 2025.
It's like, why are black people poor? Some white person, Lyndon Johnson. White people wrote the history books. White people colonized them. White people did the Clinton Foundation. White people did. It's like, where's the accountability? Where's the humility? But they have no humility. They're so proud. There's nothing wrong necessarily with being proud of who you are, but you have to be in touch with reality. If a black person is respectful and considerate, I treat them like anybody else. I know that sounds really racist and old school, but it's just true. If you're like, let's say you own a store and a black person walks in and they have a clean cut haircut and they're wearing normal clothes and they walk in standing up straight and they speak to you respect. If they say, hey, excuse me, can I have some help with something? Well, would any one of you say, get out of here, you black piece of shit? No. You'd say, yeah, sure. What's up, man? That goes for anything. Uber drivers, restaurants, Disneyland, water park. I mean, you name it. But no, what you hear them coming down the way because they're on speakerphone always. It's never like that. You hear them coming 3 blocks away because they're screaming on speakerphone or playing their music. I was on a train the other day, and yeah, there's some black kid playing his music. The train is packed. Everybody's talking. You got some black kid blasting his music as loud as. What the fuck is wrong with you, fucking dumbass? You know, but then you get people say, I'm like this hateful guy. I'm like the least hateful guy ever.
Listen, that's not hateful to me. It's actually annoying. I can't stand being out in public and the person near me is loud and on the phone. And guess what? So many times it's a black person. A lot of times it's a black woman talking loud for no reason at all. It's aggravating. But because we like to irritate white people, feeling like we're getting back for the ancestors when we just act ridiculous and know we're being annoying, we continue to do it and think that it's okay. When we know it's not, because us normal folk who want to be unblack, we don't like it either. And if we start speaking up about it, maybe some of the blackity black is bad behavior people will start acting different. Again, because it's not skin color, it's behavior. And it's us who have accepted that black is synonymous with bad behavior. You don't see people saying Clarence Thomas is so great. They hate Clarence Thomas because they don't feel he's black enough. When they criticize Larry Elder, it's because he's not black enough. When they criticize Thomas Sowell, it's because he's not black enough. Candace Owens, not black enough. Why? Because we don't see enough negative bullshit nigger behavior.
I'll talk to anybody that gives respect, gets respect with me. And I may not agree with their life choices, their politics, their whatever. I was in an Uber not too long ago with this black guy, and he was reading me the riot act about how racist white people were, you know, because he recognized me. He's like, oh, you're Nick Fuentes. And he starts explaining to me all his political views. And I sat and listened. It's like, look, I don't love hearing that stuff. I don't agree with it. I just listened. He was telling me his opinion. And at the end of it, he said, you know what? He goes, you're a really nice guy. He goes, I want to get a picture. He goes, you are really nice. You seem like a good guy. And this guy, for 40 minutes in the car from the airport, was just hitting me with every anti-white, pro-black argument. But all he needed was somebody to sit there and listen. He wanted to be heard, you know? And he was a veteran. He was well-spoken. I didn't agree with the word he said, but, you know, he was a nice enough guy. I mean, really, and I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm the best person ever or anything, but I think I'm one of the most friendly people. I'm very go out of my way to be respectful to people. And I get branded as like this maniac. People act like I'm just this unhinged lunatic. Like if you put me in a room with a Jewish person that I'm just going to spontaneously combust. It's totally not the case anyway.
Listen, I don't understand why this video got people so mad, so angry. It's still coming across my timeline days later. Because there was truth in that. When we get any type of money, what do we typically do if we were raised in the hood? We move. Why? Because we don't want to be around those acting niggerish. We have a whole term called niggery. When he talked about nigger something, we got a whole term. Don't niggerig it, or I'm a niggerig it, which means it's going to be below standard. We have a whole group that we're referring to as YNs, young niggas. And we'll say things like, oh, them YNs don't play. Be careful, them YNs will shoot you. Be careful, them YNs don't care about nothing. It's bad behavior. When you think of a YN, you're not thinking about someone who's going to school to become the next engineer or who's in a trade school to become the next best plumber. That's not what you think about when you think of a YN. You don't even think about a white person. Why? Because we have embraced that. It's in most rap music. Anytime you hear it, it's typically coming from Black people embracing the term and the behavior. We love to embrace bad behavior. We would never tell some fat woman twerking with her ass out, she a coon. She's a sellout. She's a Uncle Tom. She ain't Black. You never hear that. Why? Because we love bad behavior. That's just something to eat up. That's why I like to separate myself. And if it means I gotta be unblack, even while naked, because I'm a naked girl, open, honest, and emotionally exposed. If I gotta unblack myself because we have made Black synonymous with being ignorant and stupid, then I'm gonna be unblack. It ain't no Black love. It ain't no Black excellence. It ain't no Black girl magic. I don't want to be Black. And it's not because of how white people view Black or how racists view Black. It's because how Black people view Black. Y'all the ones that have made it synonymous with being ignorant. Nobody but you.